how did you come up with the Disco Inferno gimmick?
Raven came up with it. He there was a character in Calgary called Dr. Johnny Fever, and he showed me the character, and the guy would just like he had a tape of it, right? Because he used to wrestle in Calgary for a brief minute, and he just showed me the character, and all the guy did was just wear a white coat, like that was the gimmick, to come and dance a little bit and everything. And I said I could do a more juiced up version of that, and it came to the name Disco Inferno, and but it was his he had the video of the Dr. Johnny Fever guy. I thought I could do like that character, and came up with the name the Disco Inferno.
Raven said to me one time, he's like, you're an okay looking guy. You're not a great looking guy, but you're okay, good looking guy. We'll figure out something for you.
Right.
I think that's a compliment, but I'm not sure.
I'm surprised that Raven has got back into wrestling. He's an agent at Impact right now, or at either Impact or MLW, one or the other. I think Impact.
Good for him. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Any good Raven stories?
I mean, ever since he quit doing drugs, I mean, not really, but before it's like, it's partied all, I mean, our crew used to party a lot. We go out after hours, and stuff, everything. So it's just, it was a trip with him, So and it's funny too. We always would have this argument, okay, for years and years and years and years, and like to this day. Like he saw me recently, and like he asked me the question, like that this is the argument. He's like, he always thought that I like you should always protect the belt. This is like a big thing. It's like always protect the championship, everything. And I would always, my thing was like, well, the belt's kind of like a prop, because the shit's not real. I know you need to protect it, but like you should if the protect the character more than the belt, it would be my, and it was just, we always had this argument, and it's like, it seemed like 15 years later, be like, do you still think that you shouldn't protect the belt? Yeah, that's funny, but it's like all those old arguments that we used to have and everything. He brought him up like 15, 20 years later and everything. It's pretty funny.
That's great. Who else was in your crew? Who else was in your crew? Kidman,
Conan, Ray, Alex would travel with us a lot. Perry, of course, Perry. The flock, me, Conan, Ray, Jericho. That was like the clique, kind of.
How did you get your job with WCW?
Just had a great tryout with Chris Kanyon, and to the point is like when the tryout was at Center Stage Theater when they used to do the WCW Saturday Night tapes, and I was just I never had wrestled for WCW before, right? But I had some of the I was wrestling like in this organization called North Georgia Championship Wrestling, the local place, right? And I'd driven over and done like this show in Mississippi, where Hillbilly Cousin Luke was running an organization like Old Mid-South Wrestling. They tried to bring it back, and I went into the character there, and Terry Taylor would drive with me. He drove me over, and it's like he liked the character, and he was still doing like agent work at WCW. So him and Paige, I was friends with Paige, but they kind of like helped get me a tryout, mostly Paige. But when I got there, I knew Terry, he's and stuff, and I had I had my tryout, and the fans were chanting "Disco sucks," and I wasn't even working for the company. I had good heat, so I got like hired on the spot. But I had some of the fans from North Georgia like North Georgia Wrestling there, so they they helped kind of like Steve Prazak and Scott Hudson were there. They started like the Disco sucks chant, but the crowd got with it, and it was a good match, and so I got hired on the spot. So